Hey guys, what's up? So here we are back again for the Python BACnet Stacks Playground. We're doing our AI generated theory lectures here, and we're all the way up to advanced loops and centennial. So this is some computer science theory. Then we're also deep in the weeds on our vibe code checkpoint 2. So this is our BACnet ReadPropertyMultiple app with back0, which saves data to a CSV file, and then rotates the logs once per day. And I've actually been looking at this a little bit, what I think we should also incorporate in here, which I don't know if Backpipes supports this or not. I don't think it does. So like there's one feature I want to put in here called chunking, how you can chunk the request. So I've seen some BACnet gateways where they have 4,000 points inside of it, and in theory you could do one big massive request multiple on there, but the device may reject it. And there's also older devices that don't support segmentation. So this is a property that you can get through the BACnet device. If it supports segmentation, you might see this a bit. So what that means is that like the bytes on the wire, the message that you would see on like Wireshark or something, that the message can be broken up into multiple messages, and then some BACnet devices don't support doing that, breaking it up in multiple pieces. So I think like what you would have to be careful of is in segmentation, I'm just looking at a note here, that you want to chunk the request. Let me see this where I have this. Looking back on some notes, so like there's typically like so many bytes of data on the wire that even BACnet IP, it doesn't really matter. So like 20 points would be about 280 bytes, like 650 bytes for 50 points, depending on what you're actually requesting. So I think 480 bytes is kind of like a standard, I think, something like that. So like if you get this failure that segmentation is not supported, chunking the request into just a limit can be something worthwhile. It's a safety mechanism, basically. So let's just look through our app that we have right now. So we have a sleep timer. We have these little directory names here where this is where our data gets stored, our CSV files that rotate, and then we hard-coded our point addresses for our VAV box and our air handling unit. And just reference to old videos, I'm running these on Raspberry Pi. They're fake devices because I don't have a real life building automation system to play around with, which most people do. Then this is also the NIC card on my computer that you see right here. So here we are. And then we talked about in our theory lectures list data structures. So present value is in a list. And then we also have a dictionary right here. Technically, it's an embedded dictionary. So there's our VAV box request, and we did a lot of fat fingering here, which I think was the right way to do this. When we originally asked ChatGPT to make this, it was really bad script that it made. It was trying to do object discovery of the device and then request every point of the device, which I don't think is a good habit either, because you want to, I don't think it's a good habit to request every point in the building automation system and then filter out your data from there. I think we should only request the data that we need. So if you're only working with fault detection or alarming, and we only need to look at 4 points on the air handling unit out of 140 points, just that's what we should be doing. Is we should be conscious that we're not requesting 140 points every minute, every possible point, because most of the data is worthless, and it clogs up a lot of network congestion and everything. So if you want to keep your BACnet network healthy, don't request every point on the building automation system, in my opinion. So this is our helper functions here for how our CSV file gets the date time. It gets the date from the operating system, and then it puts it right into the CSV file for the people that'll view the data, and then this will make headers for the CSV file, which we tested out before that it did work, that it remapped the headers if we deleted the file when a script was running. And then you see here, these are little for loops inside of the list, so they're list iteration. And then also here's a tuple that we studied yesterday, and then this is a dictionary. So this is like really fancy Python programming right here, that you're doing little for loops right inside of the data structure itself, and it builds it for you. Calls those functions. This makes the directories. The operating system makes the directories. Ensure the CSV file exists, and we'll get into this later, that we'll use this feature built in the Python, the CSV writer, how to make CSV files, and this is appending a CSV file. This is writing, and then here's our new chunk right here. So we'll get a little bit into this in our theory lecture, is how to chunk the request. So basically this is limiting to, so it's even making another data structure from our other data structures that we hard-coded. So basically if the chunk size, we're just going to limit to, where's our chunk size? Maybe we'll have to look at that, try and find it. So it'll just basically, under the hood, it'll just safely request, maybe it'll build read multiple requests in our chunked, oh yeah, here it is right here. So they put the chunk size right into the function, which we still have to get into. So it'll limit 25 requests, 25 properties in the single read multiple request, just so we don't run into any errors. And then let's test it out. Let's see, so this one was here. Let's see. You can also do a clear. Clears out your thing. So we tested yesterday, Python, BACnet 5 code at 2.py. Okay, so it looks like it's working. So we'll just let this run. Even though we don't have more than 25 points in each one of these, if someone wanted to use this code, that if you had many devices with a lot of points, that you're safe. So basically, you're basically safe. Hopefully that makes sense. It is a lot of code to fat finger again. Once I'm almost curious to see if ChatGPT can make one more update. Can you make one more update to programmatically assign the, so the script works, which we tested this stuff. Oh, come on. Assign this stuff just from the constants that so you wouldn't have to fat finger it twice. So from this stuff, paste, so I would not have to fat finger 2 times. Okay, so while that marinates, maybe we could switch over to our script lesson for today. Let's see if we can get this done as fast as we can. So advanced loops and centennials. Using the for and while loops beyond the basics, you will learn how to write nested loops. Using while true with centennial, I don't even know what centennial is, to terminate the input and control loop execution, break, and continue. So concept for loops, I iterate over items, which we've seen in our BACnet scripts already. Items of sequence, such as the list and the string. You can nest loops to process multi-dimensional data. For example, iterating over rows and columns in a matrix, which I don't think we really need to worry about too much. A while loop runs while until the condition becomes false. In many programs, you don't know in advance how many iterations are required. Fibonacci's example, which is a stupid number calculation, which is very popular in computer science tutorials, which I hate as an example, demonstrates that a while loop continues as long as the condition remains true. So this is just saying here's a for loop, and then there's a for loop within the for loop. Then this is a while loop. Centennial loops, it seems kind of interesting. So then this is, we kind of covered this before, if for number, so this is for number in our list of numbers. If the number in the loop is greater than 0, skip it with a continue. Why this matters. Real programming often need loop until certain conditions are met. HVAC monitoring scripts might read sensor values until an operator stops the program. Understanding centennial loops and control statements ensure your code can handle various amounts of data gracefully. Nested loops are essential for dealing with tables of information such as rooms versus equipment. Okay, so like maybe we'll just copy our mini examples into our program for today. So this, delete our stuff from, okay, so then here we go. Let's see if we can put this kind of in the same format and a big comment. All right, just watch the older videos where we kind of covered strings in how to make comments, and also your VS Code extensions for Python. Okay, let's see if ChatGPT updated. Did we make some fancy code here? So it says replace make headers with this. Our script is getting pretty big. Let's see if it works. And what we do with our AI generated code is we do lots of testing. So let's delete out our files, which is a nice test that the program still runs, doesn't crash. So it looks like it's just added in a map of which is a dictionary. So yeah, kind of cool. So basically, if anyone else is using this in the field, you just have to modify your read request multiple, and then everything is buried under the hood. We won't be really neat as if we, maybe something that we could even work on too is breaking this into just clean files. So we could put like all of our code just in behind the scenes, and then just have one big constants file where just all you do is it kind of cleans things up. Maybe we'll do that. That would be kind of a neat thing. So it looked like our script worked. Cool. Looks good to me. Timestamps, AI, AI, analog input 7, analog output is a AO, analog value is a AV, multi-state value is a MSV. So looks good to me. We're appending some data. All right, so maybe we'll clean that up in the future, but let's see if we can pound out our theory lesson for today, and then this can run in the background, and we can just make sure it doesn't error out. Okay, so Python script lesson. So what do we got here? Okay, write a for loop that keeps asking the user for temperatures until they type done and then prints the averages. Oh boy. Okay, so write a loop. Okay, so we would need so we need text from user equals, I think we could just do this, input, what do you want? And then we could do while text from user does not equal string done. Should work. We could do data equals a list. We could do so we should just say input temps. I think we can just cheat and then just do this again. So this will break if it equals done right here. Then we should be able to just print let's see, average equals, I think we can do the length of the data divided by the sum. This might have some bugs in it. Okay, maybe we'll just get rid of those. I thought we could just cheat with those. Input temps. 34, 13, averaging some temps. So I'm just inputting temps like the program asked, and then a string of done. Okay, division by 0. So you know what we need to append the data. So we need to put the data into a list for it to do math, and we didn't do that. So data dot append the integer of text from user. Maybe let's do one more. Put a space in here. Makes things a little cleaner on our little app. So if we do 34, just point some random number, temps, and then let's say done. Still division by 0. Okay, so it didn't know how to handle the string done as an int. And then I think we can do Python check if string can be a number as a boolean. Okay, is digit. Knew there was something. So let's do we could do if data text from user dot is digit. So I think that will return true. Then it'll put data, it'll append the data into our list. So we just say, maybe we can even put a print here. Print. Sorry guys. Is digit. Put some temps. Oop. So here is digit. So I should be able to just do done. Alright, so printed the average. For some reason that does not look correct. Let's just cheat for the sake of time. Just doing a quick Google hack here. So they even did try and accept handling. This looks like a nicer way to write it. Okay, so they did while true. They did while true. While text, if text equals that, you break. If text from user equals done, and we break out of our loop. We'll put some temps again. Oh, maybe I was doing the sum. Maybe I was doing this backwards. Ha. Okay, that looks better. Cool, done. Kind of cool though, we have a list. While true loop, we input data. If the text from the user equals done, we break out of the loop, and then it skips over this instantly, and then just computes our average. Nice and clean. Thank you, Google. Use nested loops to print every combination of floors in 1 through 2 in a building. Okay, so for floor in building, so we could say building equals a tuple 1, 2, 3 floors, and we could do room equals a tuple 1, 2, and nest another loop for room in rooms. We should say rooms and then buildings. This would be floors. For floor in floors, and then do room in rooms, and then print floor and room. There we go. So there should be every combination of floor and room to nested for loops using tuples. Modify a list of numbers replacing negative numbers with 0 using continue. Okay, so let's make up a list. 0 numbers. There's a -1. Another -1. So we could do for number in numbers. Forgot to assign this to numbers. And numbers. Okay, so for number in numbers, print number, not the entire list. Whoops. Okay, so those are all the numbers. So if number is less than 0, continue. I think we can just do print number right below this, because continue I think is like a skip. It'll skip over it. Okay, that worked. Cool. Done deal. Oof, these are getting hard. So important stuff. I think these challenges are really good to keep your brain sharp, and then when AI starts generating some bogus code, that you can confidently say that, you know, that's a crappy way of writing it. Make AI rewrite, you know, what you're doing. So like, to get that confidence, I think you need to practice computer science theory. So a lot of people out there are saying like the computer science degree is worthless now, but I disagree. You know, like I think theory is also important to understand and practice. Until tomorrow, thanks guys. Catch you later.